Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to the 10 poorest places in the UK. And yeah, I done a reaction yesterday basically regarding how the UK's economy is failing and all this sort of stuff. And had comments in that video saying they would like, or some people would like more reactions based around the UK and just more content based around the UK. So I thought, you know what? I'm fascinated by these kinds of things when it comes to the US, and of course it's the same with my own country. The fascination's probably even higher, if anything. It's just I don't know if it's worth doing these reactions on the channel when the interest is mainly on me reacting and learning about stuff in the US. But I'm here for it, I'm interested in this stuff, and yeah, the 10 poorest places in the UK. Now, the UK as a whole I'd still say is a very good place to live in the grand scheme of things. There are certain towns, villages, whatever, that definitely have a lot more issues than other places. Like, for example, I live in a pretty nice city, but there's towns on the coastal areas near my city that aren't so great. I don't know if they'll be bad enough to rank in this video, but you can definitely see just throughout the UK that there are definitely some places that are a lot more worse for wear, if that's a fair sort of statement, I guess. But we're going to check this out and see the 10 poorest places in the UK. And that's pretty much it. Links are also in the description to my Patreon where you can see reactions that I can't post to YouTube. Movie reactions, TV series reactions, all different things. Links are there. But let's check this out and see these places.
Newport, Wales.
Newport.
We're starting in Wales. One of the poorest places in the UK is a city and county borough in Gwent in Wales. We are referring to Newport, which is situated on the River Usk, close to the river's confluence with the
It looks nice here. It's a typical UK village.
Severn Estuary. It is 19 kilometres northeast of Cardiff. Newport's population of 145,700 at the 2011 census notwithstanding, all is not going on fine with the city. It can't get past its nagging poverty.
Damn.
Imagine this. Of Newport's 95 neighbourhoods in Newport, 23 currently rank among the most deprived in Wales. Do the math and you'll find out that this is about 24% of the authority. That's the biggest percentage of deprivation in the country.
I mean, it's not really shown any images to really represent that. It's just based off statistics.
9. Greenock, Inverclyde, Scotland.
I mean, it's got nice scenery. You don't really find UK cities with this scenery. It just looks very grey and sort of depressing just off this image alone. But the scenery is beautiful. And maybe some people would like this, but it just looks very worn down, I guess.
Wales doesn't have a monopoly on poor places. Scotland has at least one of the 10 poorest places in the UK. You'll find the 9th on our list in Inverclyde. This is Greenock, a town and administrative centre in the Inverclyde Council area. The town, with a population of 44,248, is located in the west central lowlands of Scotland. As proof of how gripping the poverty state of this town is, its population reduced by almost 3,000 within 10 years.
Damn.
In a report that shows how poor some parts of the nations are, Greenock tops the list.
These are quite cool images though. It's not necessarily showing just bad images.
In the Scottish Index of Multiple Deprivation for 2020, Greenock has the highest number of deprived areas in Scotland.
Well, there
8.
we go.
Halton, England.
I've never heard of this place in my life.
England too has some of the poorest places in the UK, and the first of these on this list is the 8th poorest place in the UK, Halton. The district and unitary authority that registers its name on this list has a borough status in Cheshire. When you consider its ranking as one of the worst areas in England and Wales by a global children's charity that also ranks Halton as one of the worst areas in England and
It's not really showing anything, it's just showing this random stuff.
Wales to be a girl, you'll understand why Halton slipped into the rank of the 20 most.
And this is a nice image. I don't even, okay, I'm just assuming now it's not really showing images of the actual place, because I'm not gonna lie, this looks like a nice image. So I'm very confused. I mean, it's a bit of a sad river, isn't it? But even then, it's still a nice image.
Deprived areas in England. Other indices like life expectancy, children poverty, which is 25%, health inequality,
This just isn't showing anything. It's just a random building.
and unemployment rates are not in a positive light for this district.
I'll be real, it doesn't look awful here. Look, I've seen places in the UK, I've seen people doing videos of like going to the worst towns in the UK and they look bad. This really isn't representing, I guess, either what these towns look like or the actual worst towns.
7.
This is more like it. This just already it looks quite depressing, doesn't
Merthyr
it?
Tydfil, Wales. We're back in Wales to find Merthyr Tydfil, the main town in Merthyr Tydfil County Borough, as the 7th of the 10 poorest places in the UK. The town, administered by Merthyr Tydfil County Borough Council, is about 37 kilometres north of Cardiff. Often called Merthyr, the town believed to be named after Tydfil, daughter of King Brighton of Brychinlog, has a population of 43.
I mean, that's beautiful.
3,820. This town seems to be hitting above its weight as the go-to place for those looking for gloomy job news. As of March 2018, the unemployment rate was 5.7%. Even though it's an iron producer, poor transportation service is the bane of this town that makes it so poor. 6.
I mean, that one just looked a bit depressing. I mean, the town centre, you'd find town centres like that throughout the UK. But the homing, that's not even a word. The housing, it's probably not like that throughout the whole city or the whole town. It just seemed very worn down, doesn't it?
South Elmsall, England.
Back to
South
England.
Elmsall is a small town and civil parish lying to the east of Hemsworth with a population of 6,519. When it comes to safety, this town is among the most dangerous of small towns, villages and cities in West Yorkshire. It's faring badly in income deprivation, employment deprivation, education, skills and training deprivation, health deprivation and disability.
Holy shit.
The 2021 overall crime rate in South Elmsall was 111 crimes per 1,000 people. Living in this small town...
What? 111 crimes per 1,000 people? That does not even sound real.
You will be on a downward spiral of ill health and at the risk of premature death or the impairment of quality of life caused by poor physical or mental health.
Mad.
5. The Isle of Sheppey.
I've heard of this place, Isle of Sheppey. Is this off Scotland or not? Am I being stupid? Maybe it's off England.
Even the Isle of Sheppey on the northern coast of Kent
Oh yes, England. My bad.
doesn't go unnoticed. The island near the Thames estuary, centred 67 kilometres from central London, has an area of 93 square kilometres. It's a part of the local government district of Swale. The major clog in the wheel of progress of this island is the lack of investment on the island and its surrounding areas. And the economy of this place has nosedived, causing many industries to leave the town. In this one of the poorest areas in the UK, there's little growth and prospect. 4.
Didn't see much of it, but Hartcliffe, Bristol. So is this a region in Bristol then?
Hartcliffe, Bristol. Hartcliffe is an outer suburb of the city of Bristol and lies within that ward. It is a district and a council estate on the southern edges of the city, sitting next to Withywood on the northern slopes of Dundee.
This street looks like 70% of streets you'll see in the UK. Not 70% of like busier streets you'll see in the UK. You'll obviously get quieter streets. This is more of like a main road in the UK. But there's streets like this that this is very similar to my city, to be honest. I would have actually like probably, if I just saw this image, I'd have probably guessed it was my city. But this is just an average image, but I guess this isn't really representing what it is yet.
Hill. About 69,000 people in Bristol are in the bottom 10% of most deprived parts of England. This number includes 17,800 children and 10,500 elderly people.
What the hell?
This city has so much more to contend with in terms of antisocial behaviour and deprivation statistics. Frankly speaking, life in Hartcliffe is far from being a bed of roses. A critical look at it places it amongst the poorest places to live in the United Kingdom. 3. Great Yarmouth.
Oh, well, this is literally a town that I was on about near me. On the coast. This town is weird, right? This town used to be like one of the best holiday destinations in the UK, like probably over like 100 years ago now. Maybe not 100 years ago, like 78 years ago, before like travelling to other countries and flight became a lot cheaper, commercial flights. This was one of the holiday destinations in the UK, Great Yarmouth and Blackpool. And then since then, I think it's just fell apart. There's still like things to do there. It's just a very rough city. Like you go there and it's like, sorry, not city, town. You go there and it's like, I feel for these people, man. I wouldn't want to live there myself, but damn, it is pretty crazy that this is number 3.
England. Great Yarmouth, also called Yarmouth, is a seaside resort town in...
Thing is though, this image doesn't look too bad. It's just one of those places that like, it's just very depressing. Other than maybe like 2 months during the year, it's just very depressing. But it's one of those towns that's quite colourful because it used to be like a very popular place to go to. But it's just sort of like a place that was popular 60, 70 years ago, and then it's just sort of decayed since, and then there's just been no renovation and stuff like that.
Yarmouth, England. Great Yarmouth, also called Yarmouth, is a seaside resort town in Norfolk. The resort in England straddles the River Yare, some 32 kilometres east of Norwich. With a population of 38,693, it is the third most populous in Norfolk. Its reputation as a fishing industry flourishing with herring has waned. Even the oil rig industry is a shadow of its past. Today, visitors to Yarmouth are full of bitterness. Its Victorian houses at the resort are now covered by horrible leisure centres full
I've been here a couple times.
of neons and fluorescent colours.
This is like the main strip on the coast. It doesn't actually look awful here, but this is not how it really looks, and this is just touching the surface. You go into the actual city and it's nowhere near the same.
There are junk
I keep saying city, town. Damn.
foods everywhere.
That's
It's like
true.
the formerly amazing Empire Theatre has now been deliberately left to dereliction. 2. Hartlepool, England. Winding up, we would love to talk about Hartlepool, a port town in County Durham. This is the largest settlement and administrative centre of the borough of Hartlepool. Hartlepool is 51 kilometres southeast of Newcastle upon Tyne. Sad to say, this large port town is a classic example of a place scarred by deindustrialisation and subsequent abandonment for rot. This story is an open secret in the northeast of England. Going by the BBC's recent report on that town, which highlighted the enormous difficulties residents of Hartlepool are experiencing as a result of universal credit, the town can't avoid being the second poorest place in the UK.
Damn.
1. Jaywick.
Oh yeah, this place is something else from what I've seen. It's actually quite sad seeing this place.
We conclude this list with Jaywick topping the list of the 10 poorest places in the UK. This is a coastal village in the Tendring district of Essex. It's 3.2 kilometres west of Clacton-on-Sea and lies on the North Sea coast.
See, I've never been to this place. I've just seen people going here, like videos of people travelling here, and it just all seems quite like this. Just like a lot of a lot of abandoned buildings, a lot of stuff that's just been broken and not fixed or whatever, but it is just very sad.
Coast of England. The town, built as a holiday resort for Londoners, is about 96 kilometres from London and 26 kilometres from Colchester. Over time, Jaywick's situation has deteriorated to the extent that it has become the most deprived area in the country for over 10 consecutive years. Jaywick is worse than all other places mentioned here in all aspects, such that it has become a sore for deprivation and suffering. Everywhere in this village you will find beer cans, cigarette butts, spliffs and condoms buried in the fine golden sands.
Jesus
The village's
Christ.
challenge with unemployment and flooding reduces its chance of equalling other places in the UK, and this has defied all attempts by the local council to transform the area. All hope is not lost for these 10 poorest places in the UK. Things can still change for them.
Well,
If you agree with this ranking,
there we go. I mean, I'm going to be honest, it didn't really show great images, let's be real. I'm an Italian living in Hartlepool and I love this town. Facilities are second to none. Shopping, restaurants, marina, history, everything that you could possibly want. And to top it all, the people are amazingly friendly. Also, Jaywick is not a town, it's an old caravan park that people simply refuse to leave. Yeah, but you just showed housing. A lot of poverty in the UK, including London. Poverty isn't about facilities. Poverty is going to bed on an empty belly, not being able to keep warm or a roof over your head. All too common now in the UK. Damn. It's not just this selection. The whole of the UK is in terminal decline. Well, there we go. This is a video focusing on, I guess, the worst places to live in the UK. And yeah, one of these came quite close to home. I mean, Yarmouth. I've only been there probably like 5 times. Not that many times, but it's just very close to me, and I just knew it was possibly going to be on this list, and bang, there you go. But hopefully you enjoy this reaction. If you're an American seeing this and seeing the UK, let me know your thoughts on this and how it compares to, I guess, some of the worst places. I say worst places, the poorest places in the US. I mean, I don't think any of these really come close to, for example, the people in like the Appalachian region. Like, I don't know specifically where it was, because it's not all the same throughout the Appalachian region. But there was one place that I just remember standing out to a different level, where the homes were like looked derelict, but they weren't. But the thing is with that region is the scenery is so beautiful. It's quite hard to sort of judge it. But yeah, I feel like that Jaywick, for example, it didn't show the best images. Let me just search now. Like just when I just search it, what images? This is the image you see. Yeah, this is quite a lot of it, I think. There's probably nicer regions. I mean, there you go. I don't really know. It's just I think there's a lot of abandoned things here. It's kind of like a half ghost town and a half not because a lot of people still live there. There you go. Like, imagine that, just living somewhere like this. That would just be so depressing. But anyway, who am I to talk? I've never been here before, so I can't say too much about it. But yeah, how does this place compare to some places in the US? Let me know your thoughts. I don't know. I've just put this full screen. And yeah, until next time, subscribe and peace.